So this is a little trip that I took over to the west coast of the South Island of New Zealand from Christchurch. Here's my motorcycle, and I took this after I got to my destination. That's my showy flip-top helmet, and there's my tent bag and chair and kit on the back of the bike, just tied on with the rope that I nicked off of my canoe. That's the bow rope. Previous shot was the Canterbury Plains, which was formed by a large glacier coming down off the mountains that run down the length of the South Island, and here we are coming up into a pass called Arthur's Pass, and these are the foothills, and some stage you'll see some mountains in the distance when we go up over them, and then we drop down into the west coast of New Zealand. There's the mountains in the distance. It's pretty much an easy drive. Dry, it's peak summertime, so everything's turned brown, and yeah, you can see the mountains here. This is kind of like one of two routes through from the east coast to the west coast. The other one I come back from later on is Lewis Pass. So here we are on the west coast. Right, what I've got here is my Jetboil and my MSR Stove, and I just want to do a comparison between the two. That one's really for cooking dinner, and the MSR is really for boiling the kettle. On the motorcycle I can carry an extra stove, extra equipment. This yellow thing is my food bag. It's got some freeze-dried meals in it. That's my water boiling pot. That's my possibles pouch. There's some milk, and I brought some water with me. Never know where I'm stopping, and I never know if there's drinkable water. And there's my electrical cables. There is my GoPro that I had on the motorcycle. I've got to sort the battery out on it, and that's the rope that I used to tie everything down with. Using a rope this time because I saves faffing about with straps. That's actually the bow rope from my canoe. I find it easy to untangle and do up in knots. So over here is my tent. I was going to put the tarpaulin up, but it's 24 degrees, 8 o'clock at night, so I really don't need to do that. So I've got the tent loosely done up, a sleeping mat and woolly blanket inside, and I've got my jungle blanket with me as well, just in case, but I probably won't use that. It's my tent bag and my backpack and leather jacket. There was a chair that I usually sit inside of my under the tarp with, a little camping chair, and inside there's a little portable table, but as you can see there's a picnic table here, so I don't really need to do much else. The river's over there, so this is a Department of Conservation site, and there's the road, access road, it's gravel access road from the main highway, and then way over there there's lots of little alcoves where caravans and camper vans can park, and you can see that there's a few people overnighting as well and camping around, put the tent up. The river, I believe you can do gold panning in it. I might wander over there later if it's still light, but this is 10 kilometres outside of Reefton, which is on the west coast of New Zealand, through the Lewis Pass from Canterbury. The way I came over from Christchurch is through Arthur's Pass, which is further south, over to Greymouth, and that's about a 3.5 hour drive, 240 kilometres, and from Greymouth to Reefton is about 77 kilometres, about an hour's drive through some hills and twisty turny roads. The weather's been nice all day long, 22 degrees in Christchurch, 24 in parts, and it's about 22 degrees or so, and as you can see, blue sky as well. So this is like the beginning of peak summer season, but the reason the park is empty is because on Monday all of the schools go back from the summer holiday, and so that's why I'm here, because it's tourist and people free. Okay, not sure if you can see these too well, but these are the two meals that I've prepared. So on the right there is a dal with some rice in it, which I dehydrated. I believe that is a red pea dal, lots of turmeric and stuff in it. And then this one here is a lamb and green lentil curry, again with dehydrated rice. These are bits of an experiment for me, so we'll see how they go. The meals themselves actually tasted really nice when I made them freshly, so we'll see how they go as a dehydrated substitute. There's actually 2 half portions here. As I'm only staying one night, I'm not bringing full meals. I do actually have a spare meal, dehydrated one that I made half a year ago in the bag, and just in case I did decide or break down or want to stay somewhere an extra period of time. But I'll put these in and we'll see how they go. Well, the meal went down quite well, and that's the Jetboil. It's a mini MicroMo, I think. I am thinking about getting, turn it that way, I'm thinking about getting the Mini Mo. I really like my Jetboil. In the bottom you see I've got a blue rag which sits in the cup part. That I use that for cleaning it. And in the top I have the canister and the burner part, and I turn the burner part upside down in the little orange stand that you can get for it, and that stops the little tab, igniter tab, from breaking. And what I like about the Jetboil is it can stand up to a little bit of wind, and it cooks things really quickly in terms of boiling water, and it has a nice simmer on it. There's no wind tonight, so the simmer has worked really well. So I only ate the lamb and lentil curry, and so that came to the boil in about 2.5 minutes, and then I just simmered it for another 2 or 3 minutes. Lentils probably a little bit firmer than they needed to be, but turned out quite nice. One of the issues that I have with dehydrating stuff is keeping the seasoning correct. You lose a lot of flavour, especially with the aromatics. So I bring some salt, rock salt, and some freshly ground pepper in a little container and just bring it back out again. It just livens it up. But the curry flavour and the other things came through quite nicely. I didn't eat the dal, and then I made coffee in the MSR Stove. That's my platypus 2-litre water container there. I take that everywhere with me. It's just got tap water from home. Our tap water is drinkable and not chlorinated where I am, so you can drink it. And yeah, so meal system turns out quite well, and I've of course got coffee in a foldable cup. Now I do have a little plunger thing for the Jetboil and things, but I don't really drink real coffee in terms of when I'm camping, because you have to carry a lot, and it's a pain in the neck cleaning the containers out and getting rid of the grounds and everything. So I do when I'm car camping, but when I'm in a place like this, I like to do leave no trace as well. So what I do is I just take some instant in a small container, about 10 spoonfuls of instant, some sugar, and I've got a little container flask that I keep some milk in. If I'm not carrying the milk, I'll just bring some milk powder. It's not hard to rehydrate. Now, while I was having dinner, here's my little possibles pouch thing. There's a compass in the top. I use that when I'm hiking. I'll get that out and show you what it's like. It's a Santo compass. I've had it for a while. and it works really nicely. It says struggling to get it open, but yeah, so it's one of those compasses, and I use it when I'm out on the hills. It's not often with a map. Usually I'm just taking a sight of where I need to get somewhere. If I think I need a map, I will carry one in my little map bag, but most of the area I'm hiking I know fairly well. Usually I'm just trying to gauge a distance to somewhere, or you know, just pick a direction so I can get round a hill or a mountain or something like that. But so that's that, and it always usually goes in the outside of my pochel pouch, and that when I take it goes in my backpack or my whatever it is. Inside here I have my diary. This is just a book and a diary in it, and in the lid I have a spork, a couple of plastic bags and a tissue and the Jetboil can remover, degasser thingy, and a pen, and an alternative lighter. It's just a scratch and start. Does the job, but it's really a backup. My Jetboil has a piezo in it, but the MSR doesn't. So I've got this Smith's knife sharpener thing. That's good for when I need to just put an edge on my Mora knife, which is the only knife I carry, and 9 times out of 10 I don't even carry that. I don't need to for most of the time. Here is a small washing line, I think, Cedar Summit. I use that as a rope and tying things up, and then I've got a bug net, because it's lots of mozzies and things, and you can see I've also, funny enough, got a big lighter in there. That's a hiking light. You can put it on, and it's got a flashing facility or just a red facility on it, and then I've got trail shitter digger with a bit of tape to stop the cut in the handle, and there's just a bladder for getting water out, some shitter paper, and water filter, Sawyer water filter, and this is a little light I got as a gimmick. It's a solar powered thing, I think, and but it's quite bright when it works. There it is. Does all of the things, so I just keep that in there. There's a chapstick for sunlight and some duct tape, and I think there's nothing, just a repair kit in there for tents and various other bits, and an Allen key for some strange reason. I've probably put that in there to tighten something up and forgotten all about it, but that's really everything that I carry. So, and that kind of goes everywhere with me, and it sits alongside my first aid kit. So and I'll just carry on doing my diary later on. So I tap my diary everywhere, and usually when I'm seeing things and travelling places,